Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our YouTube channel. You're watching the Sizzle Review with Sabah
and Iza. We are two US-based fans who love Pakistani dramas and we love to review them for you. Please follow us on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook, and on Twitter as well.
Yes.
Yes. And then please like and subscribe to our channel. Today we are going to start our new episode with the drama Fraud.
Right.
How's Fraud going, Sabah?
Fraud is okay. It's going kind of slow for me.
Yeah.
I feel like they're not showing Sabah Kamar enough. You know, like they're doing all these sidetracks, and she's such a good, she's just a top star in Lollywood, and I think they should have showed more of her. But like in the teaser we saw that Dalal is getting killed. I mean, why do they have to show that?
Oh, that's the teaser for the next episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, now they're going to talk about Dalal's side of the story. We're getting like sidetracked from, Sabah Kamar's story. And then Tabriz, fraud ke baad fraud kara ja raha hai. It's like we get that. I don't know. I'm finding it a little boring now. What do you think?
I think it does need to come together at some point. And I think bahut se drama mein, and I think we talked about that in Pehchan as well, where they show that the woman needs to be empowered. But wo empowerment, ab Sabah Kamar ki bhi in Fraud, empowerment, they show her being empowered a little bit, that she found a job and she's finding her own kind of thing to do.
Right.
Lekin uske beech mein har waqt bechari ko shaadi ke liye I think my most disliked character is her father. I
totally agree. And it's funny because Asma Abbas came to her, like her character came and said that I want the rishta for my own son, right?
Yes.
And what does he say? Kuch pata. She's like, "Aap kuch pata wata kar le." He's like, "Kuch nahi karna hai. Aap aa gayi hai." Like, when is he gonna learn?
That's one of my notes. He said, "Chanmeen karke kya karna hai, aap aa gayi." And I was like, really, you who was defrauded like so majorly, tum aap chanmeen bhi nahi kar rahe? That's crazy that he would say that.
He's not learning his lesson.
Yeah, he just sees like a koi bhi rishta hai and he's happy with it, and of all the people, the reasonable rishta that he got, Talal, usme wo naraz tha. So I'm like, clearly you have no good judgment, uncle. Like, come on. Like, at this point.
And he's the one who's pushing marriage on his daughter.
I know. That's so
and wo bechari bol rahi hai, let me, why is marriage so central in a woman's life?
Yes.
Let me have my career right now. Let me concentrate on that.
Yeah, but wo nahi kare. And the other thing that annoys me about the whole rishta, Asma Abbas thing and the Mikhail rishta, jo uska aaya, Shan, his name is Shan, am I right? Yeah. So, ab wo jo rishta bhi aaya hai, they're talking about how Maya is not mentally ready to get married. और उस वजह से वो माया भी रुक रही है, and then that's like the main issue. And they're not talking about कि Maya doesn't want to marry this like douchebag of a guy who has been so, remember पहले he bumps into her.
He's so mean.
He's so mean. फिर वो बच्ची के साथ बैठी हुई है, and then he comes and literally lashes out at her.
Again for the second time.
Class की लड़कियों का तो मुझे पता है. So I mean, A, she's already hesitant to get married, and B, the guy that you're presenting her with is not it's a deal breaker. He's not a good enough guy. तो फिर क्यों, और parents like the father didn't even meet the guy. He said ये भी नहीं कहा कि हम मिलते हैं, हम देखते हैं, and then we'll figure it out.
No, he's like, ready to say he goes, नहीं, आप आ गई हैं, बस काफी है हमारे लिए. I'm like, what an idiot.
Yeah.
And Maya just was so angry, she just got up and left.
I know. And then वो फिर भी वो कह रहा है कि माया बहुत respect करती है and माया मान जाएगी. So I think in their heads the rishta is a done deal and they're just going to drag it for an episode or two till they kind of can blackmail Maya into marrying. I hope that doesn't happen. I mean, that would be such a disservice to the story.
And then another thing, right? When Maya, after he yelled at her, right? So she gets up and leaves. And then Tabriz comes in. So they're like missing each other. But when he comes in, they didn't show the conversation he had with Sean's mother.
Yes.
Like, don't you think that was important?
I think
I was waiting for it. I mean, usne koi chhanbin nahi kiya. Like there was no conversation.
Yeah, वो भी हुआ, and then
that was bad editing, bad direction.
That was bad editing. और फिर उसकी बेटी ने मना कर दिया ना. Did you see that scene with the daughter where उसने कहा कि अभी मैं पता करना है, तो she's like, oh, I've already been through a couple of breakups. Now I don't want to go through another breakup, which is such a ridiculous reason but just because you've been through a couple of breakups,
don't you want to make sure?
Yeah, that the guy
Because
is nice.
उससे कोई आगे है ना पीछे है, कोई तो होगा ना, कोई चच्चा मामू फुप्पी कोई तो होगी ना.
That's such a
Just
fishy,
because, yeah, just because you don't have parents, you must have some relatives.
some relative, exactly.
कोई खानदान तो देखते हैं.
और पहले जब वो फ्रॉड करता तो एटलीस्ट ही हैड अ प्रिटेंड मदर एंड फादर, तो अब तो कोई भी नहीं है, लड़का खुद ही आ गया एंड दे आर ओके विद इट. दैट्स weird.
Yeah. So, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll show more of Maya, but the teaser is showing Talal. It's like being sidetracked.
So do you think that the Talal is being attacked through Tabriz because he's trying to blackmail Maya into not revealing his true identity, or that just happened?
We don't know. It was just like a teaser.
It was just a teaser, but like,
so we don't know. Maybe that's a good idea.
We can do our predictions.
Oh yeah, because he's a police officer.
Yeah, because remember, wo bike wale aate hain, they stop right in front of him and then they get him out. So mujhe ye ho raha tha ki maybe maybe the story has developed further and Tabriz and Maya have like
that's a good point.
And then that's through him, and he is holding them hostage till Shadi ho jaye, and then
because Mahir probably went to him and say, this is the guy.
Yeah, kuch na kuch. So I mean, or maybe she was.
We don't know.
We don't know. She was about to break it to them, and Tabriz kind of covered his tracks, I guess.
Yeah. So see, that's interesting.
Yeah. So let's see. Fingers crossed for the next episode. Yeah. And I do hope that they move the story along and without doing a disservice to the character.
I mean, like they need to treat the audience with some respect.
I agree.
With Mere Humsafar, they keep dragging it like we're so stupid.
Yeah.
Let's let them watch more and more, because once you start watching a drama, you're hooked. Yeah. And you want to see it till the end, because you invest your time and you're invested in the characters, but then they mistreat you, like the direction.
Honestly speaking, Sarah, I have stopped watching dramas that are like that. I feel like are like a total waste of time.
Yeah.
Because I used to do that too. Okay, if I shuru kar diya, to, we have to see it through. But then I'm like, if there's nothing of substance in there, why am I just sitting there and yelling at my TV? So now,
that's a good idea.
If the drama, I mean, I still watch like 5 or 6 episodes, but if it's still not, the story is not elevated to a point where I feel like it deserves my attention, I would just leave it. Yeah.
I mean, just because they want more money or they're dragging it. And
let's talk about Humsafar. You mentioned it. So it's still dragging?
Yeah. I mean, now they showed Rumi is finally they found out about her nikah.
Achha.
Yeah. And she was getting married to a guy that her mom wanted, and meanwhile she already had a nikah.
Oh, wow.
So she can't get 2 nikahs, so she had to come out with it. And they're just dragging it, I think. And then Hala and Hamza are not back together, they're not talking. I don't know. It's like we're on the 39th episode already. They need to end it now. They need to nip. And they keep saying in the thing, it's the second to last episode, and then when the second to last episode comes, it's not the last episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Acha.
They shouldn't do that either.
That's like
yeah.
Dhoka de rahe hain.
Yeah, bilkul. Dhoka de rahe hain. This is not right. I mean, there's so much the audience is going to take.
Yeah. And this constant, again, we've talked about themes in drama, this constant theme of lack of communication between the characters.
Oh, yeah.
Abhi, just say you're saying ke Hala and what's the guy's
Hamza.
name? Hamza are not communicating. I think we saw that in Behjan too, and now we saw that in Habs too.
Yes,
so let's talk about Habs now.
It was so frustrating.
Yeah.
Habs. Yeah. There's a misunderstanding that Basit thinks Aisha and his best friend since childhood, what's his name? Fahad is having an affair.
Yeah.
So, and he is this business tycoon.
Yeah.
You would think he would sit down and communicate, hey, because, he is a problem solver. He tries to solve all of Aisha's problems. He goes, koi masla nahi, I'll take care of it, I'll take care of this. But when it comes to his own problems, he can't sit down with his best friend and say, hey, what's going on?
And instead of that, he's being so passive-aggressive.
Yes.
He was being so passive-aggressive. And, I felt for Aisha because, we have seen people in a situation or in a relationship where you have to kind of be very careful and tread very carefully. You can literally see her that she's trying to be very careful and not rile him up. the table scene where he's
Yeah.
constantly making like statements to his mother, to Fahad, and then Aisha bichari wo udhar dekh rahi hai, wo udhar dekh rahi hai, wo udhar dekh rahi hai, wo. So that like literally broke my heart. Okay, you know, to be in a situation where jahan, like you're so scared that this man might just kind of blow up in front of guests, you know.
Yeah, it's like walking on eggshells.
Exactly.
So so he slaps Fahad.
Yes.
And then he throws Aisha out of the house. Like drags her out of the house.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of, even if you just, I mean, I don't know. So in my mind, isn't it like if you're married, isn't it the wife's house too? Isn't it 50% the wife's house?
Ideally to hona chahiye, but culturally it's not.
But like यहाँ पर तो यहाँ बीवी का हक होता है. Like a guy can't kick you out of your house. This is your wife's house too.
I mean, we say that's the wife's house too, but you know, at the end of the day, जिन्होंने निकालना होता है वो तो निकाल देते हैं. I mean, we've seen that many times over, and you know, it's
like in Humsafar. Remember with Wabaal Khan?
Yeah.
How
so
she was thrown out of the house.
How she was thrown out.
वो भी रात के वक्त.
हाँ.
This idea of just, you're angry, you just throw the woman out of the house.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
At least he put her in the car गाड़ी में डाल के उसने driver को कार अपनी अम्मी के घर.
But I was like, no cell phone, no purse, nothing.
No, but we have seen before, I think, or drama में अमानत में, do you remember? She just kicks her out without
and she was pregnant.
हाँ, उसको घर से निकाल दिया, दरवाजा बंद कर दिया, and that's it. So at least he kicked her out. Maybe that's a progression. क्या उसने गाड़ी में बैठा दिया instead of throwing her out.
I bet you she's pregnant.
Really? Acha.
I don't know.
Oh, that might be reconsidered. So speaking of that, as much as I was upset at Basit, I think Aisha was ridiculous too.
Yeah, it's her ego. It's the ego.
Ego तो अब आई है ना, but जब वो बात हो रही है, लड़ाई चल रही है, and she said, बासित मेरी बात समझे. I mean, if you don't lack of communication वाली बात है, अगर किसी को गलतफहमी हो रही है, आप उसको नहीं बताएंगे कि you know we were talking.
And Fahad doesn't say anything. Well, poor guy got slapped. Everybody can open his mouth.
And you know, it's like, what's better? What's better for him to think that you're having an affair, or for him to know that your sister ran away? She's trying to save. She thinks he'll judge her harshly if he finds out कि उसकी बहन घर से भाग गई है. So that's what
That was so dumb, though.
Yeah, that's what she's not telling him. But
because, you know, she came to him for every problem.
Yeah.
And he, you know, he would have helped her. That reminds me, okay, I see a lot of Pride and Prejudice in this.
Oh, yes.
There are so many, like, her younger sister running away with a guy. Oh. That was in Pride and Prejudice. Mm-hmm. But she asked Darcy, like, helped. She didn't ask. Elizabeth didn't ask. But Darcy did help at the end, but this time Fahad helped in the story. And then the sister, there's daughters only. The mother, all she's worried about it is having her daughters married off to rich guys, just like in Pride and Prejudice. Yes. You know, and then Darcy, the character, is angry his impression of her is like in the beginning was like is very arrogant, you know. Exactly. And then the younger sister running away with the guy. I mean, these are all elements of Pride and Prejudice.
Yes. But Darcy, I think, as a character was much better than Basit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basit is like...
Darcy didn't have that past, although his aunt brought him up. Like, he didn't have parents. He had a sister that, you know, that...
Yeah. But Basit is Jekyll and Hyde. Basit is very nice. Ek lamhe mein, he's like, oh, main ye bhi masla hal kar dunga, ye bhi mas... And then the next minute, he's like a douchebag. He's...
Speaking of...
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Basit, Feroz Khan's character in real life is coming out.
Yeah.
They're divorced now, his wife and Alize.
Yes.
So a lot of stuff is coming out now about him and his personality.
Yeah. So his wife released a statement. It was very sad. She said there was physical and other abuse in the marriage. You know, and they are divorced actually. Divorce ho chuki hai final.
He was violent, she said according to her.
According to her, huh? But he came out with a statement. I mean, I'll give him some pointers. He didn't sling the mud right back at her. Usne kaha ki mere bachon ki maa hai. And I'm going to let the courts decide. So
and she wanted to show respect of the children's mother.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was really nice of him to do that.
Yes. But now, you know, it's I feel like itne zyada divorces ho rahe hain. This is, I don't know, we saw earlier in the year with Sajal and Ahad, Farhan and Urva, you know.
I'm a big.
She broke up with her fiance. I mean, which I feel, chalo,
Furqan Qureshi is another one.
yes,
And
yes,
then there's been so many divorces in the past too.
yes,
We had
definitely.
Sanam Saeed.
Yeah.
She got divorced right away, and the other
Acha.
Sanam Baloch,
Baloch? Acha,
yeah,
I did not
she
know that.
got divorced right after also.
Acha.
And then there was uh, Sheikh Amna Sheikh.
Nashik, yes.
She got divorced.
Yeah.
Like there were like a handful that
A
are married
handful.
now.
Yes, yes. So, it's a sad state of affairs, I would say.
I don't know what it is in Lollywood. Everybody's getting divorced.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of sad.
It is kind of sad, yes. But we wish them both the best and we hope that they
Yeah,
can kind of resolve the situation with grace and dignity at the end of the day. I think that's
yeah,
very important too.
I agree.
Yeah. And then I think Arsalan, see, he said the same thing. He's like, everybody is. He made a statement and he said that um, everybody is
Slinging mud at
slinging
everybody,
mud at everybody. And,
airing their dirty laundry.
yes, yes. And then, we saw that. We saw the repercussions of that with Amir Liaquat and his third wife
Oh
and
yeah.
how nasty it can get. So
Oh
just,
yeah, good point.
yeah. So we just hope and pray, I know these are public figures, but at the end of the day, they can resolve these private matters privately. I do admire Sajal and Ahad for that.
And what gets me is like other celebrities then give their 2 cents
Yes.
on the issues.
तो देखो बहुत आसान है ना बैठ के comments करना. It's very easy to just sit and make comments. And at the end of the day, you have to see that these are human beings and they are going through something very difficult. And we hope and pray that they can find whatever they're looking for in their lives.
Right.
Speaking of celebrities, they have the Hum Awards coming in Toronto.
Yeah, on Saturday.
Yes. So a lot of celebrities are performing and attending. And I think
they all go first class.
Yes.
Stay in hotels, all provided by Hum TV.
Yes.
All with the flood going on. Speaking of celebrities, Angelina Jolie is in Pakistan.
Yes.
And we see a lot of pictures of her going into the flood areas and talking to the victims.
Yeah.
And, consoling them. And, it's sad that we don't see our own celebrities doing that. Yes. What Angelina Jolie from Hollywood is doing.
Yeah.
And I think one person did make a statement that where are the Pakistani celebrities? Why aren't they doing anything for the flood?
They're in Canada.
But Maida Khan came out with a statement today saying that a lot of the proceeds will go to the flood victims from the Hum TV Awards.
Sure, I hope so. I feel like it's such a production. They are spending a lot of money on it to begin with. So I'm not sure how much proceeds eventually we're going to get. But at least kuch to kar rahe hain.
Kuch to kar rahe hain. But kudos to
Hadika Kyani.
Hadika Kyani.
Yes.
She, yes. I saw, was one of the
ones that was
really hands-on, and she's doing a lot for the flood victims. Although Resham tried.
Resham wasn't doing it for the.
Oh no, she was doing it to the
fish. Maybe they were the flood victims too.
Yeah, they are the victims. She was throwing them food, raw meat
and bread, and then she threw them some plastic along to flavor the meat.
But okay, at least she's trying.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other celebrities, she made an effort.
She made an effort, and what I appreciated about the whole Resham fiasco was कि उसने किया, गलत किया, फिर उसने apologize किया, and she tried to make up. She went on like a garbage kind of a.
Yeah, who does that? Yeah. Nobody would be caught dead doing that.
हाँ, तो at least उसने अपनी गलती की, उसको माना, and she's trying to,
And she really sincerely apologized.
हाँ.
It could be just instinct. She probably didn't know any better, which is okay.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Lekin, I have noticed in the past a lot of the celebrities जब वो कुछ गलत करते हैं तो instead of apologizing वो defensive हो जाते हैं. They get very they get very offended by being called out on what they're doing wrong, और वो फिर अजीबोगरीब हरकतें करते हैं. So I think I really appreciated कि Resham was
she wasn't arrogant about it.
That's the right word. Arrogance is the right word.
Yeah, I agree. And then Mala Jut is coming out.
Finally, huh?
October 13th, finally.
Have
you seen the trailer?
I have seen
it. It looks amazing. Kind of reminds me of Gladiator.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, a lot of the scenes remind me of Gladiator.
Yeah, very solid cast. बहुत अच्छी
direction. Zabardast acting. I wish we could see it here. It's so hard to see it.
Yeah, I hope कि कहीं लगाएं तो फिर maybe we can go and watch it.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. And speaking of celebrities, Ranbir Kapoor came out with that, well, at least they're married. Alia and Rashmi, hopefully it'll last, and I think it will last because he won't go to the bathroom without knowing where she is. So that's a good sign.
That's a good sign, yes.
After he made fun of her because she was gaining weight from her pregnancy, which was bad and weird, but he made up for it. Now he won't go to the bathroom without her.
Yeah, I think he got a lot of negative kind of attention because of that statement. I gotta play the sweet guy now.
I wonder how long he can hold it for. I mean, once he gets older, he can't hold it for that long.
Oh my god.
All right, but we wish them the best.
We wish them the best.
Okay, let's move on to
Bakhtawar, yeah.
Bakhtawar, one of my favorite dramas that I like so far.
हमने 2-3 हफ्ते बाद episode आई ना इनके Bakhtawar की.
Yeah, because of the cricket match.
Yes.
So,
and it didn't disappoint. Still
no, but the character Shidi is his name, the Lafanga.
The Lafanga, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing very good at it because very convincing. He's very convincing of that role. My goodness, isn't he? The way he smokes and his whole demeanor, his look, and his facial expressions, he's like a typical Lafanga.
Yeah. Exactly.
But like the narrative that he's saying, he says to his friend, because his friend is like, maybe wo Bakhtawar kahan hai, kahin nazar nahi aati, and he's like, maybe she ran away with a guy, maybe she's married. So he goes, she is mine, and if I can't have her, nobody will have her.
Oh my god.
So it's that kind of narrative again that we're seeing.
I know. And
that she's mine, and I have to have her, and if I can't have her, tum dekhna koi nahi uske saath reh sakta.
Sad, yeah. And we have seen that go south in real life as well.
In real life, there's so many incidents. Yeah. Why are these writers writing this, you know?
But I mean, as long as treatment is done right, I'm okay with it, I guess, because he seems like the guy who would do that.
No, but he is a villain.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because वो negative character दिखाया, शुरू से ही negative दिखाया. Remember, he's trying to grope the girl, then he is a
villain.
Into the house.
He's not a hero, by no means.
So with him, I feel like you can see this happening. अब उसको अगर twist करके बाद में we're supposed to feel sympathetic for him and we're supposed to like him, then I would have an issue with him.
He even sent his mother to
the rishta.
Yeah, for the rishta.
Yeah, that's bananas.
So but Yumna Zaidi is doing a phenomenal job.
Amazing, yeah.
Isn't she?
Yes.
Doing Bakhtwar. It can't be easy going in and out of male and female characters like that. But then she's at his house. She sees him shirtless. She sees Xavier shirtless because she's bringing his clothes in his room.
And he's like,
and he comes out of the bathroom and she's like closing her eyes. That was funny. And then in the teaser we see him massaging his old man's feet, and she's feeling very uncomfortable touching him.
Sorry, Allah. But you know what I really liked Jabo Shady, whatever. Shady, we're gonna call him Shady. Shady is shady, so we're gonna call him Shady.
Also shitty.
So जब Shady आके उसको बार-बार वो कर that's where I got it wrong. So Shady is like जब उसको कह रहा था कि where's your sister, and then I think she goes into Bakhtu mode and she doesn't like
good for her.
Yeah, so I was like, she talks back to him and she's like, mind your own business, and and then she does the same with the Mulana, with the landlord as well,
and the landlady
as well. Yeah.
So the landlady thinks that she saw Shady up in her room, so she thinks he's having an affair instead of like thinking any other thing. The first thought that comes to her mind is that Bakhtawar called him up there.
Yeah, exactly. Bakhtawar called him up there, or वो भी, she doesn't care much about them. I think अंदर से तो उसको पता होगा कि my husband is not the best, so she doesn't want.
She's not happy with her marriage because he's like so controlling.
He's so controlling.
Yeah, he pretends to be this religious guy, but he himself is such a hypocrite.
Yeah.
So that's where we see how religion, people tend to be so religious. We see that in dramas. Har waqt with tasbih and dua, and then inside they're like hypocrites, So let's talk about Huria. That's Xavier's fiance. Is she Sarah Khan's sister in real life?
Whose sister?
Sarah Khan's youngest sister, Noor Khan's.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure about that.
We have to find out.
Okay.
Well, anyway, she wants Bakhtawar gone, or Bakhtu gone, because she asked Bakhtu to do to do jasusi.
Yes.
And he said, no, I'm very loyal. I'm not going
Yeah.
to do it. She gave him money and he didn't take it.
Yes.
So now she's like, and then his lackey, Xavier's lackey says, oh, my nephew wants his job. So try to get rid of him. So in the teaser, we see her framing and that Bakhtu stole all the money and jewelry from the house.
Yeah.
So she's framing him.
Yeah.
Because she wants him out of there.
And the lackey didn't care much about Bakhtwar anyways. So me yaad hai when he would be talking to the maid,
Yeah.
वो आके कहता था कि क्यों कर रहे हो, तुम इससे बड़े close हो रहे हो, you're having an affair with her.
Yeah.
So I think and now we know okay, it's because he wants Bakhtu's job for his nephew. So that's why
he's jealous of Bakhtu, basically.
Exactly.
And the father wants Bakhtu out too. But the mother is like, no, he saved my son's life. You know, but the father's like, well, Huria wants you gone. So the father's like, well, next after I marry her, she's gonna say to get rid of your parents. Are you gonna be okay with that?
Good for him.
Parents chup ho gaye. So far that's that, and so we'll see what happens. What's Xavier's name in this? I keep calling him Xavier. Well, will he believe Bakhtu that he stole the jewelry, and or will he believe Huria?
I know. And when will we see Bakhtawar come out and a romantic angle to the story?
Unless they call the police on him and they have to.
God, and he doesn't have an ID.
Yeah. And then that same cop will be there after he trolled his place when all the mohalle wale aaye the, police aayi thi uske ghar.
Yeah.
So maybe that's when it'll come out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope she tells him herself and she controls the narrative for that.
I hope so.
Rather than him finding out through something.
Well, thank God her mom didn't die.
Yes, we thought she died.
I know.
I think we said she was dead in the last episode. So no, she's not dead. She's alive.
I was like, she's gonna be all alone. That's gonna be so tough.
That is good.
But I'm glad the mom's alive.
Me too. Me too.
I'm still waiting for that first guy to come back.
I don't know me. I moved on from the first guy. I have moved on from the first guy. I hope things take off at Xavier. Achha, chalo, let's talk about Wabaal now.
Wabaal, okay. Wabaal is getting interesting now. So Sarah Khan, so this is weird, okay. Sarah Khan helped this hijabi girl, they showed her friend who wears hijab and looked very simple, that she is having an affair with a guy. And she wanted Sarah's help, saying, can you please let my mom know that I'm with you. Meanwhile, she was with this guy. I'm surprised they showed a girl that wears a hijab for this role.
That's a good point.
Usually they show these modern Western girls in these kind of roles. But this was kind of very different. Anyway, Khad, what I didn't understand was the friend's mother accuses Sarah of being an accomplice. And she calls the police and the police take her away to the jail. That totally didn't make sense.
For what? Did she
that she had something to do with her running away. But it's so stupid. All Sarah had to say was no. She asked me to stick up for her while, I was like an alibi and, I had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
That's all she had to do. I don't know why they had to take her away. All these cops come to the house and take her away for that.
I think just for the dramatic purpose of it, I guess.
Yeah. So meanwhile, the boy. Oh, another. So they're at that dukan wala, and the Talha, the boy that likes Sarah, is there, and Sarah's father sees him, and all of a sudden, he's got this radar, oh, what a perfect guy for my daughter. I mean, that was so unnatural.
Yeah.
A father sees this boy in a store and says. And then you could tell by his reaction, oh, what a great guy he will make for my daughter.
That's funny.
And he brings him upstairs and for chai.
Oh, wow.
And they make Sarah make tea for him and everything.
This is before or after Sarah gets arrested?
Before.
Achha.
So now he wants to help Sarah get out of jail. So he's going to help.
Maybe that's why it was, because she wasn't interested in him. Maybe that will kind of soften her towards him.
Yeah, because he's lent her money before.
Yeah.
So he's helped her. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Although it's not a great drama. It's an okay drama. But Shagufta is in it, so she was very happy that Sarah got in jail. She was laughing.
Oh wow, अच्छा. हालांकि I thought she liked Sarah. Oh yeah, because it's वो तो खुश हो रही होगी ना, because रिश्ते के लिए जो मना कर दिया था.
मना कर दिया.
And very in an insulting way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So वो Sabz Ali is like, Mama, वो तो jail चली गई. He goes, good, I'm glad. And then he's got this doofus face. So let's talk about Daraar.
Sure.
Daraar is interesting. I'm liking Daraar because Sayed Jabran is like a total player. He is the perfect husband, you know, in one, treating Itha so like the perfect wife. They even give 50% of all his wealth and shares to her.
Wow. Okay.
I know the Dadi gave her 50%. He goes here the next day.
Those are some good in-laws.
Yeah,
I must say.
but she says that, you know, and he said that to her too, that mere kuch, you know, I might have some, you know, kuch kami hogi mere mein, but just ignore it. Meaning that if I'm gonna have an affair, just ignore it. And the Dadi says, don't ever leave him, you know, even if he does something wrong, don't ever leave him. And she promises the Dadi, I'll never leave him. And then meanwhile, he makes a move on his cousin constantly.
That's stupid.
Yeah. So, and he realizes that he's a player. And then he tries to be so romantic with Hira, but she like totally ignores it. So she changes the subject.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird.
See how it unfolds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that finishes our episode for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Please comment, like, and subscribe to our channel. This is Sizzle Review. This is Iza.
This is Sabah signing off.